Hey, what's going on, guys? Ultimate Sniper here, and today I'm going to give you the basics of Sony Vegas 12. And I know there's a lot of these out there, but I thought some of them don't go too in depth, and hopefully this can help you out, I guess. Anyways, when we get started, let's take a look at the overall setup of Sony Vegas. So when you look down here, you have your timeline, and your timeline is basically what the name says. It's a timeline. You drag in your audio, and it shows changes over time and your effects and everything. And it's probably very it's not probably it is important. So other than that, let's go up here. This is your preview screen, and this is basically going to show you. Obviously, what I just said, it's going to show you a preview of your media as you go through it. You scrub through it or you play it. And usually I keep mine at preview and auto. It depends on your computer. If you have a good computer, you can typically get away with preview on auto. If you have a rather kind of crappy computer, keep not to diss your computer or anything, but if you have like a lower end computer, it's probably best to keep it on draft and maybe quarter or half or maybe full for draft. But your quality is going to be worse, but you're going to be able to play it and see how everything runs, see if everything runs smoothly. All right, and up here you obviously have your normal, things in every program: buttons, save as, open, new. Yeah, I don't need to explain those. And jumping back over here, you have your project video properties. It's here and it's also here and here. I mean, they did not let up with those buttons. They're everywhere. So if you want to click on that, I don't know. This is what I recommend because I don't know, for some reason these settings work for me and they're pretty nice. I don't know. So maybe if you want to copy them, but basically I keep it on an HDV 720p to 30 or 720 to 30p, 1280 by 720, 29.97 frames per second. Width is 1280, height 720. Field order, I keep it on a non-progressive scan or non-progressive scan. Pixel aspect ratio is 1 and square. Frame rate is going to be 29.97. You don't need stereoscopic 3D mode. That's nothing. Pixel format, I keep mine on 32-bit floating point with video levels. Full range kind of like screws up your colors, honestly. I tried using it and I did not like it. Full resolution rendering quality, I keep it at best. Motion blur type Gaussian. Your interlace method, I keep it at blend fields. Then the rest, I don't know, you can copy. Audio, I keep it on stereo. Number of stereo buses, 0. Sample rate at 48,000. And bit depth, 16. Resample and stretch quality at good. Everything else here really isn't that important. And those are my project properties. So after that, we're going to look at these. You got Project Media, Explorer, Transitions, Video Effects, and Media Generators. So let's go with Project Media. And if you have any extra, that means you don't need them. You can click X out of them. Because basically what I'm showing you now is probably the most important stuff. Everything else extra, I know there's other things that as soon as you install it, you have these extra tiles and stuff. You don't need those. If you want to find an X at the top right, you can get rid of them. So anyways, going back to Project Media. Project Media is every type of media used in your project. So any videos you imported, any text you created, any music you used, it's all going to be stored in here and on the timeline if you decide to put it on the timeline. This is basically like, I don't know, your storage facility, I guess is one way to put it. Alright, and right here is your Explorer. So say you want to put some cool pictures or videos in here, you can go through your hard drives or hard drive and just go up here, click through them. It's just like a normal computer, and then click and drag to your timeline. And then once you do that, it goes back into your project media, and yeah, voila. I don't know, that's really not that complicated. Personally, I like just going to the file explorer, and then just going and selecting them all, and then drag them in like that. That's what I like. I think it's easier just to click and drag them all. I mean, I think you could probably do something like that with this. That's just how I just learned. Transitions are just the effect between clips. It's pretty pretty self-explanatory there. Maybe we can go into an example or two. Video effects, this is how you can like change the color of a video, like color corrector secondary, or if you want to deform it, make it, you know, like a one of those fun houses, mirrors, you know what I'm talking about, hopefully. If you didn't, you probably had a bad childhood. Sorry about that. Anyways, then we go to media generators, which are right here, and you have checkerboard. I mean, most of the stuff, you know, some of it's useful, some of it's not. This right here, the elliptical transparent to black, this is pretty useful. I use that a lot. Eclipse I've used before. I don't know, everything every little while. The credits, I don't really use the credits too often. They're not that useful. Noise textures you can use if you're like making an intro or something. You don't really use those too much. Solid colors, I've used those a lot before. Text and tiles is probably the most useful out of all the media generators. So you just want to drag in a text. This is a normal one. Nothing too different about this. So if you just want to type in SN1PA, and if you see this little scrubbing thing right here, little mover guy, and you click around, it moves with you. So I'm going to click over my media so I can watch the effects that I change to it. So if you want to get back to that tile that I was using to change the font and everything, you just click this little video or this little icon right here. And with this you can change, you want to highlight it first, and you want to change the font, stuff like that. If you want to change the placement, you can just place it like this on the screen. I think that's exclusive to Sony Vegas 12, but don't hold me to that. I'm not exactly sure. If you want to bold it, italicize it, change the orientation, I mean, none of this is, I mean, it's pretty common sense from here. If you want to change the text color, you come down here to text color, and you can change it, and I mean, you could change it to pink if you want to. It's kind of like a salmon, I don't know. If you want to change the scale, you can change the scale like that if you don't want to use the numbers here. So, and then I don't know, the rest of this really isn't too important. You can play around with that if you'd like. It's not worth it to me to use those. And then the rest of these are just, you know, different ways they come in, or different transitions of how they come in. You know, one of them's jump, one of them's a rolling glow. I mean, that's pretty cool. Drop split. I mean, go around, play with them. They're very, very fun. So now let's get into the actual tutorial itself. So as you saw when I dragged in the media, it created an audio track and a video track. So obviously the video is for the video, the audio is for the audio. So let's drag something in. Let's drag this in. And it shows you, the great thing about Sony Vegas is it shows you the lines on the video, or the lines on the audio. And that's very helpful for when you're trying to time things correctly. And I don't know, let's play around with it. Say the audio's too loud and you don't like the audio. Well, what you can do with that is you can either mute it by hitting the mute button, and that'll mute it for the entire video or the entire track. Or if you just want to lower it a little bit, you can use this and it'll lower the decibels for you. Or say you want it to be, since you're doing stereo, you want it to be just on the left ear, this audio coming on the left ear. So you could put the pan or orientation of the audio onto the left. You typically keep that in the center. I don't know why you would change that. It's kind of weird. Anyways, say you don't want to do it this way and you kind of want to do it this way. There's another way you can change the audio. You just come to the top of the audio track and you can lower it, and it lowers the volume for you. And I typically use this a lot because you can use the same audio track and you can split up the video and then have different audio levels for it. And I have both selected. Make sure you just have the audio selected when you're changing the audio, and you can do that. See? And the more tracks you have, this is a great hint. I didn't learn this till a lot later. The more tracks you have, the longer it's going to take to render. So you want to use the least amount of tracks possible. And yeah, that's key. Make sure you remember that. Alright, so you're probably wondering, how the hell did he just split that track? Well, I'm going to show you. So say you want to, I don't know, watch this really cool part. So if you just click on the video, make sure you click on the video, and then you hit S. It'll split wherever you click it, and say you want to keep this part or delete this part, you don't really like this part, and you want to go to the other part later in front, right after the part you don't want to keep, and you hit S again, and then you click on it, and then you press delete, and then you go there, it's gone. Sorry for my talking, I know it's not too good. Hopefully you can't hear my mom screaming. Alright, so we showed you how to do that. Now we showed you how to insert text. You're probably wondering, how do I put text on my video? Well, that's very, very easy. So what you want to do is go to right click onto your current video track, or down here, it doesn't really matter, somewhere over the timeline, and go to insert video track, and then if you go to media generators, text, and click here, and then you can put it on here, and then type in blah, that blah, there you go. Anyways, and then if you want to watch it, and just, that's the Hunger Game fails is from the actual video itself, it's not a text that I added. Anyways, so that's how you can put it on video itself. You have to insert a whole new track and put it on top of it. Oh, I'm tired. Alright, so that's how you insert text on top of it. I showed you how to delete certain parts of it. Now you're probably wondering, well, I don't want to completely delete something. I just want to kind of trim it up, kind of trim the fat of it. So, oh yeah, and if you want to go frame by frame through something, this is going to become very important, is use the arrow keys, and you can go frame by frame by frame. That's very helpful if you're doing really precise timing. Anyway, say you don't like this. So if you want to go to the end of the clip, and then put your cursor right over the end of the clip, and then you see this little trim event end, just click and drag to the point you want to keep it at. And that's basically how you can do that. Trim up the fat. Now say, hey, I like this video, but I think it would be way cooler going really fast with chipmunk voices. Well, that's also very, very easy. You want to go to the end of the video, and then you want to hold Control, and then you want to click and drag while holding Control, and you can go either out or in. Bringing it in makes it faster, bringing it out makes it slower. And you can play around with this, see how fast you like it, see how fast you don't like it, or stuff like that. And then if you bring it back to the original point, it doesn't change the speed at all. Speaking of which, say you don't know if you want to have it going really fast, but you don't want to change the clip. You can use this rate and this little thing down here. This is basically the rate at which it plays. So if you want to, I'm not going to do it because it'll play through the video and it'll screw up the sound. If you click and drag and bring it forward, it's going to play it faster. If you bring it back, it's going to play it slower and eventually in reverse. And it's helpful just to see how, if you want something to play faster, see how it would look without actually, changing anything. Alright, so other than that, what else can we go through? Let's say I want to add an effect. We'll do color corrector secondary. So we're going to click on our media just so we can see the changes happening to it. And we're going to click and drag it on there. So say I don't like it being so dull. So I'm going to max out the saturation. And basically you can play around with these all you want. You can change it green, blue, whatever the hell you want. And yeah, that's basically how you add an effect. You just click and drag onto your clip. But say, oh man, I screwed up. I don't really like this effect. It looks really dumb. How the hell do I get rid of it? Well, it's very easy. You just want to, oh yeah, by the way, I'm going in and out by scrolling on my mouse. And that's going to be helpful too. So if you just want to get a better view of the clip in the timeline, just scroll in, scroll out. So say, you want to get rid of it. I don't like it. Click on this little event effects, and then you can come up here and say remove selected plugin. And there you go, it is gone. You don't have to ever see it again. Alright, so we learned a lot today. What else can I show you? I don't know how long this video is going. I'm probably going to split it up a little bit. Alright, so those are some of the effects. I mean, you got a lot of effects here. I mean, the greatest thing about Sony Vegas is that you have to experiment with it if you want to get good. If you want to go look up some videos, try and replicate some effects, and it will pay off in the meantime. Alright, transitions. So, how do I add a transition? I see this really cool transition. Oh my god, a additive dissolve. That is so cool. How do I add it? Alright, so what you want to do is click and split your clip. Or say you already have 2 clips. It's got to be between 2 clips. So what you got to do is click and drag right in between the 2 clips. You add it, and then you can change the color, bleed speed, and all this stuff. I mean, this is stuff where you can figure out on your own. You don't need me to show you how to do it. But as you see, it adds this transition here, the dissolve right here, and as you play, I'm going frame by frame by frame, and the dissolve was not too great. So I would probably have to increase it a little bit so you can see it better. Yeah, you can figure it out. It's not that hard. Alright, so other than that, let's go right click on properties. Alright, so maybe you're saying, you know what? I see these really small black bars up here, and I don't like them at all. How the hell do I get rid of them? Well, that's very easy. So you're going to right click, go to properties. Oh, make sure you do it on your video, not your audio. And then you want to click uncheck maintain aspect ratio, click disable resample, and click reduce interlace flicker. This will make your quality even better. And so you say, well, that's nice, but it didn't get rid of the black bars. So, well, I'm not there yet, homie G. All right, so you want to come to this event pan crop. And then with event pan crop, this is basically going to change the orientation of how you see your clip. So let's say we're going to click on that. Click on this bar. It doesn't matter. Just do whatever. Play with these 2 settings right here. And that'll... it's experiment. Anyways, to get rid of them, I usually do like this and like this, and I don't need that on, so let's restore here. Oh yeah, right click and restore. Also, Control Z is going to be your best friend. So if you make a mistake, just hit Control Z and you're done. Control Z and you're done. So you can redo an effect. So I'm just going to come down like this and come in like this, and the black bars are absolutely gone. And then you can come up here, type in the name of the preset, blah blah blah, and then you hit this little save button, and it will save it as a preset, and you can apply it to all your clips. Now you're saying, well, that's great, I did it for 1 clip, but now I have this clip I have to do that entire process for. That's really annoying, and I don't want to do that. I agree 100%. So how are we going to fix that? Well, very easy. Right click, go to right click on the media you just changed, right click, go to copy, and then come to this one. Come to the other one, I guess you should say, and then paste event attributes, and it will change it. As you can see, it will fix the orientation of the clip, and it works for all effects and everything. It's very useful, and it saves a lot of time. Now maybe you're saying, you know what, I like the audio on this video, but I don't like the video that accompanies it. I'd rather have that audio with something else. So how do I get that audio separate from the video? Well, that's easy too. If you go to your video and, I don't know, right click on the audio and go to group, and you go to remove from you do that. Now the audio is free. You can move it wherever you want. So say we do it with this one, group, remove from you, remove this audio, and now we have 2 different audios right here. And now you say, well, that's great, but how do I pair them together? Well, once you get it all matched together and you synced it to the right time and spot in the video and the audio, it's all matched up how you want it. You basically click and shift click on both, right? So this is how you do it. Hold shift, click on the top one, or click on the video, click on the audio. Now right click either on the audio or the video, doesn't matter because they're both selected right now. Go to group and go to create new G, and as you see, they are now connected. So that's going to be very helpful for you guys. Alright, so what else can I throw in here to the mix to keep it fun? I don't want to go into masking. That's a whole nother tutorial that'll take forever. Basically, I pretty much showed you guys all the basics you're gonna need to know on how to do stuff. Oh, here's one: how to narrate. So narrating's, everyone wants to narrate. I want to narrate over my story. Oh my God. Okay. Anyways, so you're gonna hit this record button over here and press OK, and then once you're recording, you're gonna hit this record button, hit OK, save it to whatever spot you want, and then it'll start recording for you. I'm not gonna do that now because it's gonna screw up with the audio levels of this video. All right. So say you don't want you don't want a track anymore. So I'm just gonna right click and delete track, and it's that easy. It's that easy. Alright, so, what else can we do? Oh, yes, our favorite pre-rendering. All right, so say your computer cannot handle playing a video on its own or whatever, and you need to pre-render it. So if you put your render quality up here, this has nothing to do with your actual render quality, it's just your pre-render quality. So if you come up here and you go to best and then draft and then quarter, set it right there, and then you highlight your clip and you see these two yellow half squares. This is your loop right here, and your loop is basically showing what media will play during that pre-render. So if you hold Shift and B, it will systematically, that's a stupid word to use, it will basically pre-render everything out, and it does it for like small intervals, and you can change the amount of RAM you use to do that, but that's a whole different tutorial. If you got a lot of RAM, you can render out a lot more. Basically, it will let you show your video completely rendered, essentially, not really rendered, but in your project rendered. I guess it's, you have to do it so you understand. It's basically just a good way of previewing your videos if you just can't preview it on your own without a lot of lag. And hopefully, if you try it, it will make more sense to you. So Shift B after you created a loop. How do you create a loop? Loops, very easy. Just go to a clip, double click on it, and there it is. And then you can just change it for however length you want by changing the half squares. So yeah, that's how you can pre-render. What else can I show you? Basically, yeah, I think that's, I don't know, let's actually, you know what, I'll go into a little bit more of event pan cropping. I'll show you how to keyframe, and then I think I'll call it quits because this video is getting very long, and I'm probably going to split it up into a few parts, or maybe not, I don't know. But okay, so event pan crop. How the hell does this work? So event pan cropping, very easy. So say, I don't know, we're going to do it with text because text is easier. So media generator, we'll do sample text, drag it over the video, and voila, you have your sample text over it. And since I like to preview it in here, I click over here, and there we go, it's showing me. Alright, so then you want to go to event pan crop on the text right there, and there it is. So let's say keyframing. We'll tell you what keyframing is. Keyframing is basically a point in time where a change has been made. So right here, no change has been made. You're at the beginning of the clip, and nothing's happened. So say I come to the 5-second mark and I want it to rotate slightly. So right here it has rotated slightly, and as you move throughout the video, you can see slowly it's starting to rotate. But say, well, I don't, at 5 seconds, I want it to rotate really quickly. So how do you fix that? Well, it's very easy, but I haven't seen a lot of tutorials teaching people how to actually do this. It's something you just kind of learn on your own. And I learned on my own, but I'm going to show you guys how to do it. So at this first keyframe, I want it to be like this, but up until the last second, I want it to be like this. So hard to explain, but I'll show you. Right click on the first one, or whichever one you want to keep the same. Go to copy, and then go to like right before the change and hit Control V. And basically what this does, it keeps the change from happening. It's not progressive. And the closer the change is to the past keyframe, the faster the change will occur. So as you can see, it doesn't take that long amount of time, and it happens within a few seconds, or a few frames actually. I wouldn't even say a second. So, and then once again, you can use arrow keys and stuff and move it. Arrow keys, very helpful. Control Z, very helpful. Make sure you remember to use those. And basically, that's what keyframing is. It's that easy. It's just a change in point in time, and it's just that easy, to be honest. Maybe one more tip. How to add a marker. Markers are basically, I don't know, they're like a point where it tells you what do you want to do at this specific point. So say right here I want to make sure you click on your timeline, and then you want to hit M, and M you can type in sample text comes in. Basically it's just like keynotes of what you're doing at this specific time, and it's very helpful for when you're doing montages and everything gets all cluttered and you don't know what the hell's going on. And yeah, so basically those are like little tags that help you kind of keep track and order of everything. And yeah, guys, I think that's gonna do it. I spent a lot of time on this. Hope you guys can like it, subscribe, stuff like that. If you guys want rendering tutorials, I've got rendering tutorials. If you guys want any other additional help, I got a lot of tutorials on my channel, so make sure you check it out. Or if you want to see something, leave a comment down below. I'd much rather have a comment than a like, so maybe drop a comment, please. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Peace out.